Today, as I mentioned, is Christ the King Sunday. In the Christian calendar, it marks the end of our Christian year. It's like we're coming up on New Year's, because next week we begin our faith journey anew. We move with patience and hope into the new season, Advent, preparing ourselves for the joy and celebration of the coming of our Savior into the world. Today, we mark the end of our faith journey, and yet, miraculously, we come into a new beginning each and every year at this time. We begin again to learn and to grow, to move closer to God through our relationship with Jesus Christ. And also at this time of year, we seem to be moving at almost a feverish pace in our own lives, don't we? Thanksgiving is this Thursday. We're going to gather together with our family and friends. We're going to give thanks for the bounty and blessings bestowed upon us this past year by our Creator. We're going to stuff ourselves with delicious food. Some of us will delight in football or the Macy's Day Parade. But all of us will hopefully delight a little bit in some rest and rejuvenation we receive while bathed in the love of our dearest companions on this earth. And then after that, the very next day, it's Black Friday. And we kick into high gear, don't we, for a couple of weeks. We really step up the pace. There's Christmas lists, shopping, planning, selecting just the right gift for every single person on our list, in order to show them how much we love them, how much we care. We're going to move so fast that many of us are going to wear ourselves out. By the time Christmas comes around, we're going to be completely and totally exhausted. We do this every year. And still, we're excited, aren't we? Looking forward to that little bit of respite, but that tremendous amount of joy that we will all get to experience this holiday season. Just as our Christian calendar has the same repetitive cycles, with Advent and Lent, Easter and Pentecost, the calendar of our lives does follow a familiar routine, something we know each and every year. But Jesus didn't really fit into anybody's comfortable routine, did he? We call him King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Savior, Redeemer, Son of God. We ascribe majestic titles to this one who was rejected, tried, and crucified as a common criminal. One who refused even to save himself amidst what I can only imagine had to be excruciating and a terrible way to die. We don't really know what it's like to have a king in our daily lives, do we? This is Christ the King Sunday, and we live in the United States of America, where we never had a king. We're not really sure how that works. We live in a democratic republic. We get a new president every so many years. Our leadership includes a Congress, a Senate, governors, state legislatures, and other bodies that have various responsibilities under the law. The book of Deuteronomy, in the 17th chapter, offers to us what God expects of an earthly king. An earthly king is not to acquire much wealth or property, not to be much interested in material goods. The ideal king will have a book written for him of the laws dictated by God, the Torah in the Jewish faith, written for him, and he will meditate on that book all day long and all night long. That is what he will do. It will be read to him, or he will read it himself. That is the role of a perfect king, to meditate on the laws of God. This king will be righteous and just. He will treat the people with equity and absolute fairness in all things. For the Israelites, this ideal kingship didn't ever quite work out this way. Saul, David, Solomon, and all the others ended up with palaces, great wealth, in some cases many, many wives, lots of horses. They waged wars. They built monuments. And they ruled over the people in just about every aspect of life. Some of them, to the best of their ability, did try to walk with God. They followed the Torah as best they could, and others marched in their entirely own direction, listening to their own tunes, away from the call of God. Yet not a single one of them ever lived up to the expectation and explanation that we find of what it means to be a perfect earthly king, written in the 17th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. Not a single one of them in history ever did it. Then along came this humble carpenter, Jesus of Nazareth, descendant of the house of David, the line that God promised would rule over his holy city, Jerusalem, and his chosen people forevermore. He lived simply. He learned the Torah. And he taught others to live in the way of God, to be righteous and good. He did not acquire great wealth. He did not wage war. He did not play politics. Jesus simply loved. He loved to be with people. He loved to help, to care, to heal all who suffered. And Jesus loved to experience every joy that came with human life. He laughed. He celebrated. He ate and drank with his friends. He truly lived the whole of the human experience when he graces her in his presence. And he experienced all of human emotion. The highs, the laughter, the joy, and the lows. For in the end, he encountered the most horrible, gut-wrenching pain I can think of. I have some small idea, maybe, of what Jesus may have felt on the cross that terrible day at Calvary. 11 years ago, I suffered a retinal detachment in my left eye. I woke up one morning and my vision was blurry. I went to the doctor and was told that they could use a laser to basically solder it back in place and restore some of my sight. In the fall of 1999, I went through 2 back-to-back laser procedures. Neither were successful. Heading into this very time of year, I was presented one more option. A surgeon could go in with these little tiny microscopic knives, and he could cut and splice and sew everything back together by hand in a very delicate procedure. I went into that operation with limited and blurry sight in my left eye. Then I woke up totally blind.